Let's focus on ritual. Ritual are always habits that are birthed in spirituality. And in most cases, rituals are preparing one for one's future. Now, one of the rituals that we as black people have gotten rid of is the ritual of bringing up a child, and especially a boy child. God, in most cases, knows that we as men, we're going to fail. And spirits, traditional spirits, we believed that God always forgave us. He never wanted to give up on us. And in doing that, he always came back through children. So a child in African culture, a child is a very important part of that culture. A child does not belong to one person. A child belongs to the whole community. And a child was a sign to the village or to the tribe that God still believes in you. And by bringing a child, he still gives you a chance to create another bright future for your people. So when you give up a child, when you mistreat a child, automatically you give away your future. So how did we use the ritual of bringing up a child to make sure that we grow our spirituality and we protect ourselves going forward? The first thing when a child is born, he or she is always given a milk name. Now, this milk name, in most cases in English, is what we call a nickname. They'll always give this child, and when this child reaches puberty, now he has to qualify to enter the tribe. In other words, he had to qualify to become a citizen of the tribe. And doing that, he had to go through a ritual, things that he had to go through. He had to simulate the problems and obstacles that he will go through in life for him to be given now his real name. Now, this real name, you had to earn it. Be it your grandfather, be it somebody that was a great hunter, it could be somebody that was a fighter, a defender of rights, whatever it is your name that they give you. Now, when they give you this name, you'll only be given this name after you've gone through the rituals and you certify and you earn that name. Now, from that point henceforth, two things happen. Your rights in the community or in the tribe, your rights that are attached to your position completely changes. But your rights now, you realize that your rights are attached to responsibility. Now, as black men, when we were brought up, we were taught that your responsibility was more powerful than your rights. You were reminded constantly that abusing your responsibility will get your life killed, and fighting for your rights without upholding your responsibility also get you killed. So in other words, fighting for your rights will get you killed, but upholding your responsibility will save your life. Now that completely changed the dynamics. The more powerful you became, but you were leaning so much more on the responsibility, and the responsibility were among one, a man cannot live for himself. A man had to live for his family, a man had to live for his community. Second responsibility here was, a man does not eat himself first. A man has to feed others. The third responsibility in most cases was about provision. A man had to provide for those that he brought in this world. You have to provide for your mother, you have to provide for your family, and the last one is protection. So it will be very hard to find a properly groomed, a properly brought up, a properly raised black man raising his hand to lay it on the people that he loves. When we were growing up, we were given a very easy exercise, and we were told, raise your hand up, and they ask you, what is this? And you say, this is my hand. What do you use this for? To provide, to protect, to give, and to love. What do you do with this when your love, and especially your wife, abuses you? You take your hand and you take it for a walk. You take your hand and you take it for a walk. You never use this hand on the people that you love. Now, we have an era now where we're saying that a lot of black men are abusing their partners. They're abusing their partners. We're talking about the GBV, and there's a lot of violence as fathers not protecting our kids. But we should not forget the fact that we've not brought up this man to be who they really are. When we look at them, These are boy childs. These are boy men. These are boys that are stuck in men's body. We have to go back to our rituals. We have to start growing the kind of men that the black community needs to protect our women, to provide for our women, to love each other as men. And we cannot just all of a sudden start all of a sudden blaming men and pointing fingers. Those are effects of a community, of a society, of a tribe that is completely lost touch with its value system. We have to decide what kind of men we need in our community as black men, and what are the kind of men that our community needs. Number one, we need proper role models. We need people that understand wisdom does not necessarily come from education. I know a lot of people in my village, people that never went to school, but you are taught to be wise. Second thing is, a man is not defined by external trappings of wealth. A man is defined by character. What are the things that you stand for? Because your character in most cases will be tested. When do you have to hold? You cannot tell me that you're a very principled person if you haven't been tested. When do you become courageous? You can only apply courage as a value when you are presented in a very frightful situation. So all those are things that we have to teach our men. Another thing that we have to teach our men is the love for work. Unfortunately, most of our boys have not been taught that a man has to eat from the sweat of his brow. A man has to eat from the sweat of his brow. A man has to work. You cannot be a man and not love work. Anybody that relays, if a man relies too much on another man, you become the other man's wife. You've never seen in the jungle, you've never seen in the wilderness, you've never seen a lion, a male lion, waiting for another male lion to feed it. Now, all these are ways to confuse our men, and then in the end we turn around and we say that our men are not good, that our men are trash. But the reality is we're not taking enough men to bring up the kind of men that we need. We have to decide as a community. We should not let Hollywood decide what a good black man looks like. Our communities tell us what we need to do to bring up these men. These townships, we should not be having drug problems in townships. We should not be having our young girls, a 16-year-old carrying another baby rather than playing with a doll on her hip with a 12-year-old as a father. All those are things that we need to start teaching them. And most of these boys are raised with their mothers and grandmothers. So it is the duty and the responsibility of the mothers. I'm not condoning the husbands or the fathers that have left. But if you have a son, you gotta always remember that this son is somebody's father and somebody's husband, even though it's your child now, but you have to bring this child up properly. Majority of our mothers, majority of our women, because of the pain they've gone through being married to men that have not been properly raised, they end up loving their sons and raising their daughters. And when you love a son, you let him just do whatever he wants to do. No repercussions. He has no structure. He does not observe time. He has no time management skills. He does not observe money. He does not know the price of things. He only knows the price of things, but he doesn't know the price of money. Who is he going to marry? And these are things as a community we have to sit down and we have to decide. Nobody's coming to fix this for us. We have to do it. We have the ability to do it. And I'm challenging most of my brothers out there. A child doesn't have to come from your loin for you to be a father. Traditionally, every man around you was your father. Let's rise up. Let's become the fathers that our community is fighting for.